the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, the SCO summit, has wrapped up, and this is a massive deal as the world leaders who met and the issues they discussed and the deals they made. Well, you want to know all about it. Well, this was the 22nd SCO summit that was held in Samarkand, Uzbekistan, and that was from September 15th to the 16th. There you have the leaders that were there. Well, top of mind was the war in Russia. Vladimir Putin was in attendance, as well as the president of China and Modi from India, and many other world leaders who were in attendance. Now, the Russian war in Ukraine, which has created uncertainty, or when it comes to global supply of gas and oil, a lot of the stats that you're seeing for inflation, well, a lot of it is attributed to the price of gas and oil. And as this war wages on for over 6 months now, it started February 24th, and it's devastated millions of lives in Ukraine and has displaced many more millions who are refugees now, who fled their country when the war started. Well, that was part of the discussion, but as a peace talk there on the table, and was anything accomplished? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. Well, and then you have Pakistan. It's grappling when it comes to terrorism in its northern region of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, and in the northern region area, as it's wrestling with what is the armed separatists in the southwestern province of Balochistan. And this is part of also what Pakistan's going through when it comes to the floodings that's been going on for quite some time, for the past few weeks, and has been able to receive some aid from foreign countries. Now, there's also diplomatic tensions that are running high with Afghanistan after Pakistan accused the former of the providing UN designated terrorist Masood Azhar with sanctuary, and there was that conflict there. So there was a lot of tensions at the SCO summit. There you have Prime Minister Modi with President Putin, who are having a discussion there. Now, India was also, discussing terrorism and what it means when it comes to its relation with Pakistan, and the serious border tensions with China was also another main concern. And so on September 15th, you had President of China, Xi Jinping, who held a meeting with the president of Uzbekistan. They signed a $16 billion investment deal, and another deal sealed at the CSO summit sideline meetings was between Russia and Uzbekistan, which amounted to $4.6 billion. Now, according to deals signed with China, it will construct a China, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan railway, and the deal signed with Russia, where it'll be about machinery, chemicals, petrochemicals, and geology sector of Uzbekistan's economy. So Uzbekistan walked away with very crucial deals for its economy and infrastructure. Russian President Vladimir Putin met with the Turkish counterpart, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, where Russia promised to support Turkey for becoming a permanent member of SCO in return for Turkey not to object the gas pipeline, of which 750 kilometers that has already been laid down via Iran, and that needs to be built a further 250 kilometers into Pakistani territory. If you recall, on the onset of February 24th, when the war began, back then you had the Pakistani leader Imran Khan, who did a state visit and was received by Vladimir Putin, and it was about, part of the discussions was about the gas pipeline, and this is now part of the discussion now. Now, during this half-an-hour closed-door meeting between which was held at the Summer Palace residence of the president of Uzbekistan, and between Xi Jinping of China and Turkey's president, well, they believe that a $1 billion grain deal was struck between the three countries, which enables China to earn billions of dollars from Turkey. So this is what we're talking about, this SCO summit that just took place. The Prime Minister of Pakistan, well, he also spoke about what's happening in his country, which he described that his country has turned into a sea of water, but no collective relief package was offered by the other nations after Pakistan talked about what it's dealing with when it comes to its crops being underwater and the aid it needs. Now, the SCO summit failed to persuade Vladimir Putin to end the devastating war in Ukraine, and for that matter, also China's illegal economic expansion into the disputed territories of Gilgit, Baltistan, under the guise of what the Western countries are talking about as CPEC. Well, this was also part of the discussion and what would be the larger Belt and the Road Initiative program. So those two issues were held at bay, where those other deals were struck. The Russian president and the Chinese head of state both seem to have come to a fair trade, with President Putin saying that they're negotiating the price of gas and oil sale to Pakistan, and China Z was expanding Belt and Road Initiatives into Central Asia via Uzbekistan, were part of the two deals that the summit had walked away from. Now, the purpose of the summit, a lot would wonder, would be to talk about some of these things when it comes to the geopolitical nature and when it comes to the war that's taking place in Ukraine, with Russian forces invading, and terrorism being a massive issue as well, and the energy crisis and the food scarcity and all of that top of the agenda. But some of those were not met, aside from the deals that were made. Now, there was said to be tensions between the SCO member states that ran so high, where Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi was unable to hold a one-on-one meeting with his Pakistan and Chinese counterparts. So that was of notice, as this would have been a perfect opportunity for the meeting to take place between India and Pakistan, and India and China on some of those issues. And one of the main reasons the SCO summit is said to fail to come up with a joint declaration seems to be what many are saying would be lack of potentially what would have been on the agenda to ensure that China and Russia were to withdraw from what they're continuing on with Russia in Ukraine, and China with its border partners, and what it would mean in terms of the economic and political spheres in the region. Now, Prime Minister Modi also advised Putin, it made headlines, to consider peaceful means to forward his diplomatic ambitions when it comes to NATO, when it comes to Ukraine. And Modi told Putin that this was the era of peace, and that it's the key approach to achieving regional peace, which in turn is vital for the region. India has become the 5th largest economy of the world, surpassing the United Kingdom. And India is moving forward and with the latest headlines in terms of becoming the new manufacturing hub of the world. And what was seen as the SCO, well, it was able to talk about regional peace and economic cooperation because of where things are at when it comes to inflation and a potential recession around the corner. Now, China, Russia, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan were first members of the SCO when it was formed in 2001. In 2017, India and Pakistan were included in the SCO forum. Iran is expected to get a full membership of the SCO bloc by next year. And Turkey is the first NATO member to join the China-led SCO. So Turkey's doing a bit of a pivot there to be able to be part of NATO as well as the SCO. Turkey's seeking the full membership to the China-led Shanghai Cooperation Organization, the SCO. As president of Turkey is attempting to forge alliances with the countries to the east, as it has to the countries of the West through NATO.